We visited the Circle area to speak to some of the victims of June 3 disaster, just to get a state of their minds. And when we are done, we'll come back to the studio and look at the psychological supports that exist for them.
So the fire destroyed your nest and all that?
Everything.
Wow, amazing. But this Nadmo brought you mattress?
Yes, Nadmo brought the mattress. Yes.
Alright, so Nadmo has brought mattresses. I can count about 3 here. There's 4 in this room, about 7 of them. And also there are 4, so about 11 mattresses I can count about 11 just in this area alone. So they are doing the distribution alright, but some have still not received it.
We had boom, which means the block has broken. So we all went up. But when the up, what she said, there's a certain guy in the room. Hey, just show. The wall came out, and we saw that there's a fire behind. Then the fire started round, coming out. So we became scared. All my freezers are there. So I gave it to the slash people. I have a store here, but for that store then, I did not take anything. Maybe there's one here, a very big freezer here. It's also bent.
Have you had any support from anybody?
No. It was only the not more people came here, gave us this thing, a mattress and some clothes. Even I'm wearing this. There's some of the clothes I'm wearing. But apart from that, nobody.
Are you in school?
No, I completed school in Benkum last year. I'm still at home. I just decided to continue this year, and this has happened. Everything, the monies, the goods, everything. So I still have my form to submit at Ghana Technology University College. It's destroyed. I can't use it again, so I'll have to purchase another one.
Na numbered for bay, ha, or true midi. Now be some names so many member 2 boys near a straw. Now, a queen dying, near me, message show a yudo. Now, last one on an edition more, one we book ran. What boy, no, sister, up to now. One fire in a map, what bar would you know, Quincy? Yaman was a baba. One from my baby, I some out to hear no. Well, this is what, and I watch a chair. And then they miss me mattress. And now, me Jane and my dad. Near the man come and die if you me the mala. Oh, yeah. Now, she might say them what the sika and the mattress be your friend the blanket was abba. Oh, wow.
Heartbreaking sound bites there. Not only are they having to grapple with what has happened, the little that they are supposed to receive from the disaster management organization, some have, others haven't. And we hope that NADMO hear their voice and goes there to support them. Now, the board of the Ghana Physchological Association has expressed concern for people affected by the floods in Accra, particularly around Circle. Release signed by Public Relations Officer, Ghana Physchological Association, Dr. Kingsley Nyako, said, as much as natural disasters are inevitable, they often bring emotional pain and anguish. As professional psychologists, the release said that they are aware of the psychological effects that are likely to accompany this series of traumatic events. The release encouraged people to stay strong, not to despair, and continue to believe in their ability to overcome this traumatic experience. It recommends to all affected to seek counsel and support from the groups to which they belong, such as family, church, or the mosque. The release also encouraged victims to seek help if they experience sleeplessness, nightmares, anxiety, vivid flashes of memory of the traumatic events, and so on and so forth. And we have been joined in the studio by the organizing secretary of the Physchological Association, the board of the Ghana Physchological Association, with us here in the studio. You watched the story, my interviews with some of the victims of them. Dr. Nyako is in the studio. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us in the studio. Hearing them, how they are talking, they seem to be in control of their emotions, but really, are they?
Well, if you look at the situation right now, people want to calm themselves down, and what is happening, all the support they are getting, I will refer to it as psychological first aid. When there is a disaster of this nature, people need to be calmed down. They need to be given that kind of hope. They need not despair. They need to have a sense of security, a sense of connectedness, and that is what we refer to as psychological first aid.
Okay.
So what NADMO and the emergency services are doing, they are all good, but they are just the preliminary ways of supporting such ones psychologically, just for them to feel at home, sort of. But we need to do more than what we are doing right now.
We'll get to the substantive bit, but when I talk to them, they simply say, I have life. God has spared me my life. The things we came to meet in this world, we would leave them and go back. Where do you put that?
Well, there is a concept in psychology we call psychological capital. And the amount of hope, optimism, courage that you have, that can keep you moving. And I think Ghanaians, and for that matter, many Africans, we are good at that. I went to Circle this morning myself to help some victims and to speak to some of them between the hours of 8 and 10:30 before I rush home to come to the studio. And you hear many people say, and that in itself is a way of instilling hope. And all these are part of the initial stages of psychological support. Family members who will come around will tell you, be happy you have life. I hear over 200 people may have died as a result of the twin disaster.
You're spared.
That is right. So you are more or less the fortunate one, so to speak. And that is why that sense of contentment comes in when you have life, or even if you got some bruises as a result of the fire explosion, among others, you still become happy, sort of. And people who are close to you, your social network, the churches among others, your friends among others who will come and visit you, will try to reassure you, instill this hope in you. And that increases the amount of psychological capital that such ones will have. And it helps.
All right. And when you were talking, you said Africans, we seem to be strong mentally. In abroad, I mean the Western world, psychology is a huge part. I mean, if you're a drug addict, the chunk of it in getting you out of rehab is all psychology.
That's right.
But it doesn't seem to happen here. Why is there that disconnect? Why do we have the lack of psychological support?
Well, you quite right, as you are saying. In abroad, psychology is a very important aspect of healthcare. In most hospitals, you get a clinical psychologist. We have the psychiatric unit, psychiatric nurses, many of them. But just as you mentioned, we just got the Mental Health Act passed not too long ago, just some few years ago. And now the Mental Health Authority has been launched, and then the board members have been constituted. And we are hopeful that the government is trying to increase the materials in terms of human resource, among others, we need. And Ghana Psychological Association is also very strong, helping to give support to the Mental Health Authority. And I think in as much as we don't have a lot of human resource when it comes to psychology, psychiatry related issues, right now we are making strides. And in the middle of this disaster, I think we are ready to also go out there and support the general public.
Okay, so what is the substantive help that is available for victims like this?
All right. First of all, we just want to appeal to the agencies who are in support, AMA, the government outlets, that indeed paying all the medical bills for those who survived the explosion is a good initiative, but we need to further it up. It is not just enough to give biomedical support. Some people may have suffered psychologically out of the experiences. Many are likely to develop what we call phobias, simple phobias such as aquaphobia, and some may also develop panic attacks. Just let me tell you one particular patient we just attended to. The patient was just taken to a house of safety, and a vehicle was passing. As he was just screaming that the water is coming and all that. So indeed, we have set up camps starting tomorrow around Circle and some of the neighboring environments that got affected. there will be psychologists and other persons to give support, counseling services among others. And we want to also use this avenue to direct them to the various centers such as Psychiatric Hospital, Kolebu Psychiatric Unit, 37 Military Hospital, Police Hospital, Lekma. All these centers, we have psychologists there to support. Okay. And apart from this, we suggest that the hospital should help us, give us a list of the people who survive so that we follow up. And I think this is where AMA and the government can come in to support us, so that we follow up on these people, give them the support, help deal with the post-traumatic stress disorders, among other generalized anxiety disorders that may come as a result of this. Okay. And then their families, the survivors, people who have been exposed to these dead bodies and others, including even you media personnel who were at the forefront of reporting these cases. Some of you need support. NADMO, emergency services, among others, who were helping in bringing these corpses and all that. All these persons need support. Okay. So when we talk of these support, we need not only focus on the biomedical aspect.
Okay, I just want to come. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time, but have you ever had any collaboration? I mean, we've had series of disasters, honestly, and it's a year-on affair, especially when it comes to floods.
Yes.
Except that we're having it on a different level this time because of the explosion. Have you ever had any collaboration whatsoever, whether it's NADMO, AMA, during such even demolition exercises?
Well, I mean, we have had. And I remember last year, Ghana Psychological Association, we invited AMA to come on board so that they will also listen. Sometimes it is not just enough just to pull down buildings. It's about attitude. We've heard a number of people speak about attitude. And who changes attitude? Is it bulldozers? Yeah. Is it the big policies? It is people who study behavior, the psychologists, and other social related aspects. Why don't we engage these people when we want to do such things? If you pull it down and you are not there in the night, I may build a structure, wooden structure, a carpenter can do it. But if we help in shaping the attitude, even if we want to carry out an exercise, there is a way we do it. We have what we call change readiness. Okay. The moment we want to cause a change, you need to prepare the people. You need to take them through a process. You need to sensitize them. And these are some of the things in most cases we don't do.
Dr. Collins Agyemang, unfortunately we don't have a lot of time, but I'm sure we'll do this another time. And there's support out there for victims of the June 3 disaster. How can they reach you?
Well, we have a contact line, sure, which people can easily call us, and then there will be linked. And the numbers I have here is 0548
yes
006675, and then 0244 982242. So these are the two numbers. Maybe I can repeat it. 982242.
Okay.
These are two numbers they can call, and we'll give them directives as to how they can get help.
Dr. Collins Agyemang is the National Organizing Secretary of the Ghana Association, Ghana Psychological Association. Thank you very much for joining us in our studio.